Thunder 124-104. They have now won their 8th straight game in a row, and they moved to 37-0 in games where they lead after the third quarter. How do you guys kind of feel about this one overall?
Well, the audio's messed up again, so I'm not feeling.
Are you serious? No. Okay. Well, we will.
We're gonna fix this right now.
Yes, we are. We're gonna just show a video. Can I just show Espo dying?
Just restart.
Yeah, let's just show Espo dying. That'll work.
All right. Does the audio work?
Yay.
Work now?
What is weird? This is
Can
so
hear
weird.
Leah, LOL. All right, let's try this one more time. Welcome into the PHNX Suns post-game show brought to you by our friends at the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. We're hanging out in the VIP lounge because after taking down the Oklahoma City Thunder 124-104, the Phoenix Suns have now won their 8th straight game in a row and moved to 37-0 on the season in games where they lead after 3 quarters. How you guys feeling?
We're good. Good. I mean, anytime I can see Gerald and Espo die, that's kind of cool.
Hey, this is very much like the Suns without Chris Paul. We have some technical difficulties, but we're learning our way through it. I love Manuel says, when in doubt, kill Espo. It works.
Well, at least we had some really great videos for you guys to watch while we were fixing it. If you're listening to this on audio, you probably didn't catch the first half of this because we probably cut it off. So you're welcome for that. But yeah, so tonight the Suns again, 124-104 over the Thunder. Point book was the topic of discussion in here during this game. Gerald will be joining us shortly, and I know he's going to have a lot of feelings about this. But let's start with you two, gentlemen.
He's always in his feelings about
thoughts
Point
about
Book.
Point Book and his performance tonight.
I thought he did exactly what CP does. He just kind of paced himself out until the fourth quarter. Then he kind of asserted himself more offensively in terms of scoring, but he tried to distribute for the first 3 quarters.
Yeah.
And obviously he had a high assist mark, and he played good. He played good.
He played MVP caliber basketball tonight. 25 points, 12 assists, 6 steals, 5 rebounds. That is exactly the kind of thing he needs to do to vault himself into the conversation when it comes to winning MVP this year. He did everything you needed him to. He filled in everywhere that Chris Paul usually does in terms of the assists and the steals. I cannot say enough about how well Book played. Now, do I want to see Point Book this entire time?
No.
No, I do not. But tonight, it was fun to watch.
And we know going into this, we already knew, right? There were going to be some growing pains. They were going to have to try a few different things to figure it out. I think Aaron Holiday showed tonight that he can handle more of the load. I'm sure we'll get into him here just a little bit. Well, we will. I promise I'll take us there. But before we do, with Devin, I do think that in this first game where he carried a huge amount of the load on his shoulders tonight in Chris Paul's absence, I think he did a phenomenal job. So, like you said, he kind of took a page out of Chris Paul's book where he paced himself, got his teammates involved early, and then in the fourth quarter, he did what Devin Booker does. So, heading into the fourth quarter, he only had 14 points, but he did have 10 assists and 5 steals heading into that fourth quarter. He finished the game with 25 points, 12 assists, 6 steals, and 5 rebounds. And I think that's really impressive for Devin. And I don't know, what do you think, Saul? MVP caliber performance tonight for him?
It was a good performance. It was against OKC. Hey, it's a good performance. I don't. What do you guys want me to be like? Oh my God, it was the greatest performance of all. No.
Well, didn't you said 38 and 6,
Yeah,
right? So if it's 25, 12 and 6, are we close?
It was good. Yeah, it was good.
6 and 5.
It was good. I don't know if it's
sorry.
I don't know if I'm going to say MVP caliber for performance because we're fucking 1 game out of 24 left to I'm not going to go there right now. I'm not going to set ourselves up for failure, thinking that every performance has to be MVP level or not. You know, like I'm not going to grade him on that. Did he do what he was supposed to do tonight? He did. Did he do a little bit more than that? Yes, he did. He was very, very good tonight.
We are numb to Devin Booker at this point because that was spectacular performance.
Again, it's not a spectacular performance because it's OKC. Like that's an easy performance for Book. That was an easy night for him. That was not a hard game for him.
12 assists and 60.
Yeah.
Like we're not going to give him his flowers.
He would have had 20 plus assists if dudes could hit a fucking 3.
This is true. He would.
I don't disagree.
Right?
Would that still have been pedestrian?
That would have been. Dude, nobody gets 20 assists in a night except for guys like Chris Paul. You know what I mean? Like that would have been phenomenal. Like he was really, really good tonight. Like, what do you want me to say?
Okay, instead of saying like an MVP performance, would you say that this was enough to keep that MVP conversation alive that was coming prior to the start of this game, where people were saying, this is Devin's time to show that he is MVP worthy. This is Devin's time to show that he can win games without Chris Paul. Was this enough to at least keep those conversations alive?
It's against OKC. That's what I like Thunder Stunk said, let's see how it goes against a better team. Like, he was good. He did exactly what he was supposed to tonight. He's a fucking professional. Like, he knows how to play. He's not some guy that played above average tonight. No, he did exactly what a good professional scorer does. He does exactly what Book does. And he did a little bit more in the assist category. Like, okay, cool. Like,
he was career high in steals. I feel like we're just going, oh, he had 25. Great. Yeah, 12 assists, 6 steals. It was a season high in assists, a career high in steals. Like
he had a triple-double in game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. That was MVP level. That was great. And that was against a very, very good team. Is that the same thing as tonight? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, he was on a similar level.
Then I guess that's the end. I guess that's the end of that discussion. Then, like he was more than MVP level tonight. Okay, cool.
And with that, we're gonna name Devin Booker our DraftKings King of the Game.
I don't understand why I say he's very, very good, and
that's not
it's still not good enough to say.
We can't even get the graphic.
We can't even get the numbers right for Devin on there.
Oh man, take that graphic down.
Devin finished with 25 points.
The graphic's completely
12
wrong.
Assists and 5 rebounds.
On ESPN, it literally said that.
Devin Booker can get no respect.
Okay, I'm 0 for 2 tonight. First of all, I was just going off of ESPN.
You can't spell Leah without an L tonight.
Sad.
You know what, Leah?
We should make a video of me getting killed because that is me tonight behind the max.
Leah, ESPN has let me down multiple times where it says ESPN. One thing and then like 30 minutes later it's completely
I was doing
wrong.
too much at once.
The crown placement's fantastic, though.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We'll never know because all I could focus was on the right side of the screen.
But yeah, Devin Booker is our DraftKings King of the Game. Congratulations to him. Since we're talking about point guards, let's move right on over to Aaron Holiday because he's going to be stealing a lot of minutes over the next 23 games with the way that he performed tonight. Of course, as Saul will say, it's against the Oklahoma City Thunder, but still, it was a good outing by Aaron Holiday.
The bar is a little bit different for Aaron Holiday than it is
for sure.
For
tonight, he finished with 12 points, shooting 5 of 5 from the field, 2 of 2 from deep. He also had 5 assists and 2 rebounds. A perfect shooting night for the newbie.
Espo might say something different just because I'm saying something positive about Aaron Holiday, but I loved Aaron Holiday tonight. I really did. I thought he was fantastic. He had a couple very, very nice passes tonight, and you could see he's getting comfortable in the system. And when he and Book were on the floor at the same time, I felt like they had some really, really good, solid minutes together. So I've been on the Holiday train since he got traded here. I've always loved him since he was at UCLA. He's just a dog on defense. He gives him a little bit of spark, and tonight he did exactly what he was supposed to do.
Let me start my rebuttal with fuck Aaron Holiday. No, I'm kidding. Aaron was spectacular tonight, and I actually think he should start at point guard tomorrow night.
I believe so too.
I believe so too. I think you move Cam back to the bench. Cam didn't do anything wrong. You just need that offense on the bench, and I think Aaron Holiday with Book is a nice combo. So you couldn't have gotten ask for anything more from a guy who's in his third, fourth game with the team. Like it was a great night for Aaron Holiday as well. So
Chris in the chat says Saul doesn't like being told where to put his
That's
flowers.
facts.
I'll tell you where you can shove them tonight, maybe. But
Listen, there's a difference when you go from Devin Booker, okay? When you go from Devin Booker to like Mikal Bridges or Cam to possibly supplement some of that scoring, that's one thing. The alternative to Aaron Holiday is fucking Elfrid Payton
or Landry Shamet.
So yes, like Aaron Holiday did his thing tonight, and thank God he did.
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious based on who saw playing time tonight and who didn't, the way that this team kind of sees the future of either the second or third potential option there at point guard, because Elfrid Payton did not see any minutes tonight. He did not leave the bench. And Aaron Holiday finished with 24 minutes?
Yeah.
25 minutes. So it's unfortunate for Elfrid Payton, but it just makes more sense. Aaron Holiday plays better with this team.
Landry Shamet should be worried too, because at the point that Chris Paul comes back, Landry Shamet ain't going to have any minutes either, because Aaron Holiday is going to take all those when we come to that.
When Cam Payne comes back, Landry Shamet may not see as many. You might put Aaron into that position.
Listen, Gerald and I were sitting here, and we kind of, I know the joke is that I've been hard on Shamet, and I still feel like I haven't really had a rant on Shamet yet.
No, he's been bad. You're not being
like,
hard, you're being honest.
But Shamet tonight, I truly feel like he is going way too fast for himself. His rhythm is so sped up. That's why I feel like he's completely all over the place. So I don't know.
So go ahead.
I don't think you've been hard on him. I think it's honesty. He has been bad since he's been here, and whether of his own doing or not, I mean, he didn't give himself a $42 million contract, but he has to live up to that. And he has fallen very short of that.
I don't want to say James Jones put a target on his back or anything like that, but I do feel like James Jones, by giving him that $40 million contract, inadvertently set him up for failure amongst us fans, because now our expectations were, that he was going to come in and at least average 10 points a game or maybe somewhere between 8 and 12. And right now, my guy is struggling.
Or hit an open three. That'd be nice.
I mean, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
It's just so confusing, because you just can't put your finger on exactly like what is it.
Gerald's gonna sit, and I'm not trying to speak for Gerald, but Gerald is very much he's been a good shooter his entire career, and while that is true, he had his best year like several years ago, like 3 years ago, and ever since then he's been in the single digits in terms of average points per game. That means either he's not getting a lot of run, or he's just not getting, the opportunity because he's not shooting enough. He gets here, he's gotten plenty of opportunity to shoot, plenty of opportunity to play, and it's just not happening. So I don't know where the Suns go from here, because that's a problem.
There's a reason the guy's been on 4 teams in 4 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's becoming abundantly clear. Luckily, that is still a very tradable contract in the offseason if in the right situation.
He's a perfect example of somebody who statistically, if you look at the stats, you think he could play the part, but he just doesn't do it. Yeah, it's much like DA tonight having a plus 13, but he was actually pretty trash tonight. And I'll get into that later.
Who?
DA.
Oh, well, you want to go ahead and get into it?
That's my take.
The one last thing that I will say about Aaron Holiday.
Have we given all the flowers yet?
No.
Okay.
I'm just saying the one last thing that I will say about Aaron Holiday and Devin Booker, more so than Landry Shamet, we're going to kind of move on from him, is that I hope that he can carry this load well continuously throughout the next 23 games, so that we can minimize the amount of minutes Devin is playing over this stretch of time, because we're going to have to rely very heavily on Devin throughout this last 23 games, but we don't want to rely on him to the point where we wear him down to the bone before playoffs. I understand that he is young, and if anybody could handle it, it's a young guy like Devin. I still don't want to risk it too much. So hopefully Cam Payne comes back soon. Aaron Holiday can continue to get 25, maybe a little bit more than 25 minutes a night so that we can reduce the amount of minutes Devin plays.
Look, I'd rather sacrifice a few regular season victories over the next 23 and keep Devin's minutes down than fight too hard to get some of those wins and put that extra mileage, because we saw how, injuries are going to happen in the playoffs, but if you can mitigate that due to the amount you put on these guys, you'd be better off for it. Can I give some flowers out?
Yeah.
This team has been spectacular in crunch time this year, right? And everybody said, well, without CP3, how will this play out? We don't know. At the 5:09 mark, so right when you're looking at crunch time technically starting, it was 103-98. It was a 5-point game. They win by 20. This team, even without Chris Paul, at least against OKC, and as Saul pointed out, not a very good OKC team, but they were still immensely clutch. They came up with every big bucket and defensive stop that they needed in those final 5 minutes. They were spectacular again, and that is encouraging because there was a lot of concern about that with CP3 out. So in one of the 24 games we're looking at, they did exactly what they needed to, improved it again.
I've seen a few people in the chat calling Aaron Mini C. Are we on board with that?
No.
Or do we feel like it needs to be a different nickname?
They're the same size.
But it's more like, I think, age-wise, Mini.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nope.
Not here for it?
I'm not
here
co-signing
for
on that.
Okay, that's fine. We don't have to co-sign on it. All right, so we are... what are we laughing
You in the
at?
chat. The way Saul just stares forward kind of scares me, bro.
Can we, next time Saul does it, can we just cut to the one shot with Saul just staring into your soul?
Well, guess what? I'm just going to stare at you the whole next
You do that in our office all day. We got that weird angle where you are just kind of staring at me all day. So.
Yeah.
You guys do have a little bit of a weird setup. It's like this.
It's all right.
It's like, why don't you both stare that way? Anyway.
He wanted to see the TV.
Saul, you ready? Because it's time to take your shot. Presented by Arizona Department of Health Services. COVID-19 vaccines are free for everyone 5 and older. Those 12 and older are also now eligible for a booster. Visit azhealth.gov for a location near you.
That's a good question, Manuel. How come we haven't gone to the bar yet? I need a drink.
I forgot about it.
Well, we'll go there in a second. Take your shot. Listen, I know we have high expectations for DA. But honestly, tonight, watching this against a pretty average at best team in OKC, and watching the supporting cast around Devin Booker step up, Cam John, everybody had double figures except for DA. 2 guys off the bench had double figures. I don't understand what is going on with DA, and I don't understand if it's something, if it's in his head, if it's just lack of energy, if it's just lack of effort or what. But there's times tonight where sometimes you forget he's out there. And I even mentioned it in the first quarter. I was like, man, it seems like every time the ball goes up, DA is coming down with a rebound. I felt pretty good about the fact that he was going to have a decent night. And then he finishes with 6 and 8. Like, what the fuck is that? 6 and 8? You're a high-level NBA player. 6 and 8 is not going to cut it. That's why the plus minus is just completely full of shit. And he had 5 turnovers. Like, bro, you got to step it up. Like, Devin Booker needs you. This team needs you, and this team's not going to win a championship when they got to play the big dogs if DA is not stepping his ass up. He's got to step up, and he's got to stop playing down to the level of these shitty-ass teams out there that have no business guarding him down low in the paint. He's got to be better than that, and if he wants his money, he's going to have to start proving it on a more consistent basis, because I hate the fact that he'll go 4 or 5 games, average like 15 to 20, get 10 to 15 rebounds, and then he disappears for like 2 or 3 games. And you're like, what is that? What is that inconsistency? You're in year, 4 now?
Yeah.
Fuck. Like, be better than that. Like, seriously. And I love DA. Everybody knows that I'm a DA stan, but I'm kind of sick of it. Like, you got to be better, and you got to be more consistent if you want your money.
But
step up.
How do you only get 5 shots? Like, how do you only get 5 shots in a game? I don't understand it. I mean, he was 3 for 5, but how do you only take 5 shots? That's a problem to me. I still don't know if that's a DA problem,
I think,
or it's the offense.
I'm starting to feel like we used to say it's the offense, but at some point in time, DA has to say, give me the damn ball. He's got to start calling for it. He's going to have to start getting demonstrative if that's the case. But it's kind of hard to do that when things are running smoothly around you.
True.
So it's kind of hard to ruffle the feathers. If you guys are up by 10, 15 points, it's kind of hard to say, give me mine. But when you look at the end of the game and you're talking about money and players are aware of the money that's on the line, CP3 wouldn't even said what he said in the playoffs if he didn't believe that, if he didn't know what was on the line for DA. You got to step up. You got to be better than that. JaVale McGee got you more than DA did. And anytime you say that in a sentence, it should be a crime.
The thing is, between the two centers, DA and JaVale McGee, what was that? 13 shots. There were 6 of 13 tonight. How much does Chris Paul not being there affect the big men? Because
if you're DA, you know that was going to be the story coming into this game, and for the rest of the season, is that Chris Paul is setting you up for your success. Without Chris Paul, you ain't shit. That's what people are going to say. That's what the Suns are going to say after the season when they don't want to pay him. Is because if we lost CP3, you're just another average center. Like, it can't be that way. And DA's got to control his own destiny and play better.
Well, and I agree, but as a big man, if you're not getting set up, I get you can sit there and you can demand it, but if the offense isn't set up for you to be in a position down low, or if you roll and your guy doesn't get it to you, what can he do?
If I throw you the ball, and this is what I saw a couple times tonight, if I throw you the ball and you're in, it was just like 2 years ago in Portland. He caught the ball on the elbow. There was nobody around him, and he still refused to take his shot. There was a couple times tonight where he got the ball. He could have easily taken a couple dribbles. He could have backed his guy down. He could have taken a jumper, whatever. He deferred to everybody else. Like, he's going to have to stop deferring so much.
Well, I still don't think he's comfortable putting the ball on the floor. And that needs to be something that he develops, and hopefully these 23 games gives him a chance to. But yeah, he needs to do more. And this is the first time in a long while that I've started to wonder, maybe he isn't a max guy. Maybe he just isn't. Maybe they're right. Maybe they saw something, and that's why they didn't pay him. And somebody will give him the max, but he needs to do more. You're 100% right.
One more time, COVID-19 vaccines are free for everyone 5 and older. Those 12 and older are also now eligible for a booster. Visit azhealth.gov for a location near you. MCG Blue in the comments said, I think it's a personality thing. A great, jovial, fun personality to be, but maybe not that top level kind of quote unquote alpha personality. Do you think it has anything to do with that?
I've seen him be the alpha other times. I've seen him be the alpha down at the U of A. There was nobody that was not the alpha outside of him. Like, he was the alpha on that team. And so if I hadn't seen that, I'd probably agree with this. But I know he has it in him, and I know he can be better.
Okay, then do you think it's an effort thing?
Sometimes.
Like an inconsistency in effort, I guess you could say.
Sometimes. I think it's more of an inconsistency in his aggressiveness. Okay. Not necessarily effort, but just how aggressive he is. Like, he needs to bang some dudes. He needs to throw some dudes off. He needs to, throw a couple elbows, get a couple tees. Like, it's going to be all right.
It just hit into a guy. Yeah, just but I hate all these jovial. That has nothing to do with it. Yeah. Shaq was the biggest kid off the court and pranked everybody. It's not that he's jovial. That isn't what it is. I think it to your point, it's just that locking in and deciding I'm going to take over kind of thought process. And if you want to call that alpha, whatever it is, that's part of it. But that's what's missing. And we've seen it at times. It's just consistency in that. How do you tap into that on a regular basis?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I jumped and I skipped to the bar tonight, so I feel like now is a good time to maybe go to the bar. After this, I need a drink
for sure.
To be fair, the whole beginning of the show was a little rough.
It kind of threw me for a loop.
We kind of just skipped the bar because we didn't know what was going on. So tonight's drink is a big L. Oh no, it's not. It's the Armani mixer. I thought it was going to be a picture of Leah on the glass. It was going to be a big L, but it's the Armani mixer. What's in an Armani mixer?
It's a nice mix of some dishing and some vodka, and maybe a little. It's almost like a Long Island iced tea, if you will.
And you know what people say when they drink it? It's just all right.
I said it was very good. I said it was very good. Look at this asshole completely ignoring what I said tonight. Making up his own shit in his own mind. I said he was very good tonight.
You really are my work wife.
Jesus Christ. I said he's very good tonight. Oh, he's all right. Now, you heard all right. I said he was very good.
I wish everybody on the audio could have seen this play out right now, because it was quite entertaining. I appreciate it. Okay, let's talk about the twins. Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson. Because what?
That's another good.
They had a really good night.
I got you.
Cam Johnson, obviously in the starting lineup, he finished with 21 points. He had 5 assists and 4 rebounds. Mikal Bridges, also 21 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. They're literally twins, almost in their stats too.
They were really good. I love the way Mikal is slashing into the basket. He's, far more comfortable dribbling the ball now without, deferring to other people. And he was really good. And Cam, I mean, what can you say about Cam? He was lights out from 3 tonight. And should have been in a 3-point contest. Fuck you, NBA.
Amen to that. Yeah, look, these guys they're fun to watch. Mikal had 3 or 4 buckets in that first quarter, first half that looked almost carbon copy, where they got a steal. He broke out. He caught that long pass and got the layup or a dunk. I love that effort that he's putting out there. Again, I mean, what is that? Is that 12 straight now games with 10 points or more
For Cam?
for Mikal.
I'm sorry. Yeah, 12 straight games.
And he was averaging 19. He gets 21 tonight. Like, we're seeing Mikal Bridges show up and kind of evolve offensively before our eyes. We asked for that consistency. We've gotten it. So, and Cam Johnson's just so much fun. We were talking about how you can see that he's gaining that strength now too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he had that play where he literally gets fouled 3 times as he's going to the bucket. And, last year before, he might lose that ball. This year, pulls strong through, gets the end one on it. These guys are fun to watch.
They are. Hey, and shout out to Jay Crowder.
Yep.
He was decent tonight.
Yep, he had 17 points, 4 steals, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. Yeah, Jay Crowder had himself a good night too. He deserves a couple of flowers in there as well.
You look at it, just that whole starting unit really filled the, with the exception of Dean.
Yeah,
really filled the stat sheet tonight, and defense. I mean, that's been a big hallmark of this team, and they kept it, within striking distance throughout that game by just playing great defense. Like, the offense wasn't there throughout at every turn tonight, but the defense was, and that's testament to this team. What is it? They had 14 steals tonight. 14 steals as a team. That's active defense. They're gonna be able to do a lot moving forward with that. They were 3rd ranked team defense this year coming in. They played like it.
We should have a love tracker or a flowers tracker on the side of the screen, because people are showing up in our chat and they're like, well, what about Book? And what about Aaron Holiday? And we're like, yeah, we already talked about all of them. Like, loved them all. They were all great. Devin Booker was very, very good tonight. Like, I said that a million times. Like,
we could just have like all of the cutouts of their heads on the side.
Yeah, and just beep,
and then
beep,
you put a check mark if we've talked about them, a flower if we've given them love.
Yes,
maybe
absolutely.
what's something if we've
card.
Scolded them? Do we do a sad face?
Yes.
No, we could do something like that.
How about a salt shaker? If
there
we've
you
gone
go.
on
A salt shaker.
Like, I love this. Just a little scorecard for everything that's going on.
I mean, I don't mind that. That's kind of fun. Yeah, I mean, if you missed our talk about Devin or Aaron Holiday, just kind of go back a little bit in the show. If you missed our talk about what we would have liked to see more from Landry Shamet. Go back in the show
Yeah.
just a little
Also,
bit.
What did
people were concerned about Mikal banging his knee at the end. He got up and he walked off. He looked like he was fine. I'm sure he's okay.
I'm concerned about what Brian's saying in the chat here. Espo in bed is decent. Bossman 99 is a god. Are they talking about you in the sweatsuit stuff? Are they talking about Jay Crowder? Where are they getting their intelligence? I need to know all these things. Do
you want to know all those things?
I think I do.
You really want to know what people think about you in bed?
Oh, I want to know where they're getting their intelligence. That's what I'm asking. Like, where are these leaks coming from?
Sometimes, Espo, you just got to ignore some of the foolishness that goes on.
I just can't. When the flat girthers bring up something like that, I now wonder, like, what's going on.
Unfortunately, we can't even bring in our fancy graphic because girth is nowhere to be found right now.
Look, what I'm saying is I don't think I even rank as good, so I don't know where they're getting their intelligence. I'd like to thank them. So that's what I'm trying to get at. Can we zoom in on
everybody behind the mic. Everybody behind the camera immediately when you said that went like this.
Can you give that face again that you gave me? That's a meme right there. That is spectacular.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick break because we all could use
Espo
one right now. Hoops fans, let me tell you about the latest offer from DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. It's too good to pass up. We're talking between the legs, 360 windmill goods. So new customers who download the app and use the promo code PHNX can bet just $1 on any team and get $150 in free bets if they win. It is that simple. DraftKings Sportsbook customers can also bet on the NBA with same-game parlays. So combine multiple bets from the same game for a bigger payout. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. And of course, best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use promo code PHNX. Bet just $1 on any NBA team to get $150 in free bets if your team wins. That's 21 and older only, Arizona only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Okay. I do want to ask you a quick question that I think I already know the answer to, but are you guys surprised that we haven't seen more Bismack Biyombo? Especially in nights like tonight where DA isn't exactly performing to his normal self. JaVale McGee, a little bit messy. Are you surprised we didn't see any Bismack?
No, I feel like you could only go with so many unknown variables in a game. And with CP3 out, there's just less stability out there. So you don't want to mix it up too much. So I would expect him to start getting a little bit more as we go on in these next 23 games. But I understand why he didn't play tonight.
Well, look, two centers, JaVale and Ayton, had 16 rebounds, 2 blocks combined. They got it done enough in those two areas where you weren't looking for offense necessarily tonight. You had other guys that stepped up. So yeah, I think Saul's 100% right. So, geez, fine. I'll put my shoes down.
Mine are pretty clean. I don't know, man.
Y'all need to clean your shoes, especially you, Espo.
Yeah, the bottom of the shoes are
my
like
shoes are
black
nice
tar.
and clean. I don't know. It just must have been geared towards you, Espo.
It was. Yeah, screw all of you. All right.
I was like, my shoes are clean.
You've got black soles. Like, I mean, how are you going to tell the difference?
You can still see dirt on the bottom of black soles.
It's probably because you're a foot dragger.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
You drag your feet?
Oh, yes. I drag my feet.
That's not great.
And my toe. So
he'll never sneak up on anybody to kill him.
Oh, no. I have the loudest walking ever. Like, it's not going to surprise anybody.
All right, gentlemen. Anything else from tonight's game kind of stand out to you? Or what do you think this one can kind of teach us about what the future kind of looks like for this team moving forward?
In the future, we're not going to let Gerald go leave the room for this long. That'll be the first thing. I think this gives me a little bit of comfort, and hopefully some of the other fans, just simply because, yes, it's OKC, but it looked like the same Suns team we've seen all year, operated very much the same way, came through in the clutch. There was nothing that stood out that was alarming to me moving forward, which is exactly the way I hoped it would feel tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they took care of business. This is exactly how you hoped it would go. They had a couple little rough spots there where OKC kind of made a run, but this is what you hope it will be like the rest of the season. And Devin's going to feel a little bit more comfortable in his role. Everybody's going to feel a little bit more comfortable because there is a bit of an adjustment. And I think they're going to be good to go.
I just texted Gerald to come back.
Yeah.
And give us
We could have just shouted. He's right through the wall there.
This is fair. We
But
could
we
have.
need to know what OKC said tonight.
Gerald will be joining us here shortly. He said he spoke with Monty so far and Jay Crowder. Devin is talking right now, and then he will be joining us. So hopefully within the next 5 or so minutes. Until then, I kind of wanted to wait for Gerald to have this conversation, but he's taken a really long time. So we're just gonna have this conversation without Gerald. The other day on our PHNX podcast, sports podcast, the crew over there decided to have like a Hunger Games style conversation.
We didn't decide. We were told by the host, Michaela Perkins, that we were going to be doing this. All right. So we didn't all powwow and go, let's pit our coworkers against each other. That was the brainchild of one person and one person alone.
Which was a brilliant move.
It was.
It is
I just didn't want it to sound like we all were plotting against everybody at the office. So.
That's fair. But either way, it was a really funny conversation. And I just feel like we need to expand upon it because Saul and I were both chosen by coworkers to win the Hunger Games.
Yes.
And of course, Saul and I are fighting now over which one of us would actually win.
It's not even close.
A Hunger Games.
Yes.
I think I would win 100%.
Okay, so Derek Montilla chose Saul with the second pick and said, in part, it's because Saul terrifies him as to why he would win.
But there was also another significant part.
Oh, well, your military experience also. I mean, that's
probably
a pretty good
more
one.
apt.
I should have led with that. That's fair. I was the fourth pick, and I took Lindsey because Saul was already off the board.
Is it literally the only reason?
Well, he's also kind of like your lemming, isn't he?
Let me be very honest. If I'm going to
Espo
take
could
somebody,
give Lindsey flowers 24/7, he would.
No, he wouldn't.
Oh my gosh!
No, I'd like to give
Okay, let me
shit.
also make this clear. But with the fifth pick, Leah was planning to take me if Espo didn't.
Yes.
So
But
I had two people on my team.
Go ahead.
Let's be honest here. The man with military experience should be taken first.
It's not like they give you all of the assets, though, when they drop you off for these games.
You don't think they teach you in the military how to fend for yourself if you're not handed a gun?
Lindsey, if you and I were running towards something, like, I will do everything I possibly can to murder you before you get to that thing.
I wouldn't even get that far, though. You'd be DOA.
How?
Me.
How?
I would
You're
do
gonna
that
stare
to
me
you.
to death? Like, that's not gonna work. Like, and then on top of that, if we were out in the wilderness and we were trying to find each other, like, Lindsey would have effort for like an hour.
No.
And then she'd be asleep after that.
No.
Because she just loves to sleep.
See, I feel
is true.
I feel like Lindsey would come prepared with like the makeup that hides her that she can use as camouflage, and she would just wait everybody out, right? And you all would waste a lot of energy taking out everybody else, and then she'd try to shank somebody.
No,
Here's the thing, though.
because
No,
from
listen.
the minute we start,
No.
Lindsey's the first one I'm going after. I need to set
And
the tone.
You're going to get killed by doing that. You're going to be so fixated on me, everyone else is going to be able to take you out. Also, real quick, yes, I love a good nap. You can call me lazy at times, but when it counts, when it's like we've got bragging rights on the line, I'm all in. It just takes, I have to have a reason to get up from a nap, and that's reason enough.
Also, see, MCG Blue knows. It's like true. All Saul would have to do is just wait until 10 p.m. and Lindsey would fall asleep. That's it. Gone.
I don't know. I still think I would.
And I love how
you.
the chat is like Espo too. Like they absolutely gas Lindsey the fuck up. They don't know shit. They don't know shit.
They are smart, intelligent cove crazies.
I take your side on this one, and I still take shit for it. I don't get that.
Wait, I missed it.
But
What was on the screen?
That's why. No, I'm laughing at what he said.
Oh,
I have your back, and you're like, chat's like Espo. They're with Lindsey. And I'm like, Saul would win, no problem. Let's be very clear. Gerald and I would die before it started, all right?
yes.
Oh, Gerald has a fighting chance.
No,
though.
Can we at
Gerald
least
would be like, would run up to the cornucopia and would be like, is this the weapon you wanted?
No.
And then
This is what Gerald would do. Gerald would
They're
run
like,
up.
Oh, you can have this.
Gerald would run up and he would like think he saw like some stupid ass fucking berries so he could eat. And then he'd see me and then the words that would come out of his mouth were, oh no.
Actually, he'd be stuck in the corner listening to somebody give a speech, and you just be able to get him while he was sitting listening to a post-game presser or something.
For sure.
Okay, can we at least though agree that Saul and I are like top two choices?
You know who's sneaky? Who would be sneaky? Is I do feel like Michaela Perkins is sneaky, right?
No,
wait. Let me finish. Like I feel like Michaela has like this hidden rage about her.
Yes, but it's fiery, but it's not like
the 6 suitcases she'd have to bring.
Let me finish. But the problem with Michaela is that she would walk 10 steps and then she'd complain about walking 10 steps. Like, oh my God, I'm so tired. For reals, guys, I'm literally going to cry.
Her own mother in the chat in the show said she'd be dead on arrival in this. Her own mother said that about her. So,
but she would probably kill somebody before it all went down.
Oh yeah, she would definitely get one.
She would like stab me in the heart and then be like, oh,
look,
now I'm dead.
Look, yes, I think you guys are probably should be 1 and 2 on that. Frank Sanders was also taken before Lindsey was taken. You know, but like I said,
Frank's too big.
Speedo Jackson shows up and all goes to hell. If you're a PHNX Cardinals fan, you get the reference.
And
I just
Gerald.
Flat Girthers rejoice. Leah, can I get my graphic, please? Flat Girthers are here, baby. Flat Girthers are here. We have another one that's even better than this one. Let's pull that one up. Oh, yes. Flat Girth. Oh, yes. Yes.
Oh, my God.
But that's not all, Gerald. We've
got more.
We have sexied this bitch up.
Oh, please,
Let's see the first one.
No.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my
This
God.
is what happens when you take 45 minutes in the post game.
Oh,
we got another one for the other people in the house. There we go. Yes. Look at those muscles. My man's been in the gym, son.
Oh, my God. It says girth on the mantle.
Say girth.
Can we go back to the other one?
Which one?
That one.
Yes.
Emphasis on the flat
Oh
on that
my
one, though.
God.
Wow.
I have
Gerald,
genuinely
bless
no
your
words.
heart.
Hey, like, listen.
My
I came in here
God.
all excited to debate how good I would be in the Hunger Games, give you guys post-game updates, and now I have genuinely no
I
words.
like the girth with the frozen, like the icicles off the earth, the flat girthers. I think that's my favorite one. I feel like that should be a t-shirt. I really do.
Oh, man.
That's a tremendous job.
Hi,
And
Gerald.
shout out to Emma, our intern. She did the damn thing with all 4 of those graphics.
She's
Yeah,
going
great work,
big
Emma.
places.
Great work, Emma. Real
Poor
proud.
Gerald.
Those will be sold
Shit.
as posters as well soon at phnxlocker.com.
Posters.
Yeah, so you can get them in 11 by 17 and then full wall size. So.
Connor said, Gerald, just walk out now.
I
Just go.
just got here, too.
Gerald, do you want to share with us what you heard from Monty and the players today?
I'm drawing a blank right now. But
He's so in love with himself. He's like, man, I didn't know I could look so hot.
like, wow, I look great.
Fantastic.
He's like, man, I touched myself. Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
no.
Oh, my man. I'm sorry.
My God.
If this was StreamYard, you guys could take me off the stream. I'm sorry.
I would absolutely have taken you off the stream.
I didn't mean like touch myself.
Okay,
I meant like
well,
just, you know, like
when
I
rub my
think
muscles
about
and whatnot.
Gertrude.
You know what I mean? Like
Reel it in,
muscles like that, I be
Saul.
touching them all the time. Sorry.
I don't.
Did this thing go completely off the rails?
Saul isn't. Monroe in the chat says Saul is buzzed. Saul is not buzzed. This is
I'm
regular
not.
Saul.
I've been drinking water all night.
Oh man.
Lord,
Maybe give
put
him a
the
beer.
solo shot just on Saul right
Oh,
now.
man.
Just Saul. He's the
see-
only one
you
that
can
is
see-
allowed to be on camera
can
for
see-
these nonsense.
Why do I feel like those images could go on like one of those novels? You know, like you could have your own book cover like Lindsey. You know.
Oh
Please
my
no.
God, yes.
Please no.
How come every time we're on the show we think of these great ideas?
Oh,
Okay, I have an
Brian
idea.
says, can't wait to read Gerald's new novel with this girth.
Let's move the solo camera just to Gerald now.
Oh please
Okay.
no.
We're just gonna focus on Gerald.
Girth cam.
Sure, let's do
Because-
that.
And Leah, if you must, mute these two turkeys' microphones, okay?
Turkeys.
Because the whole purpose of Gerald joining us was to give us updates about the game. Gerald, what did Monty Williams share with you following this Suns win over the Oklahoma City Thunder? Please share.
Thank you, Lindsey.
You're welcome.
Well, Monty had a lot to say about the job that Devin Booker did managing the game. He said he thought he did a really nice job finding guys and getting them the ball at the right time. And Brendan Clean, who we had on the show for an All Mercury podcast the other day, asked Monty, you know, is this kind of the starting lineup that we're going to see moving forward, or how do you see that changing? He said, we have no idea, because obviously they're still waiting for campaign to come back. But I do think we're going to see a little bit more of Point Book moving forward, because he did do a nice job with that. Jay Crowder mentioned that he had talked to Book when he kind of first came to Phoenix about, you know, if he wants to take his game to the next level, the playmaking and the making plays for others is the biggest thing that he needed to see from him. And Booker did that very well tonight, season high 12 assists. And Book said himself, his past experience playing on the ball really helped him. He said he was having flashbacks to, you know, the old years when he was playing, you know, filling in for Eric Bledsoe and Brandon Knight and running the point guard a little bit. He said he got some flashbacks to those moments. So those were kind of the biggest things as far as Point Book was concerned for tonight's game.
That sounds more like PTSD than flashbacks.
No, I'm the one with PTSD. He had flashbacks.
I thought we were going to go full solo shot on Gerald just so we can make more girth jokes and see him crack.
No.
I'm very disappointed,
No, it
Lindsay.
was to get this thing back on
It was a
track.
good setup
If
for
we
it.
were too far off the rails, we had to.
There are no
we
rails where we're
overcorrected.
We were having too much fun.
Yeah, we were having way too much
Mom
fun.
came in and was like, hey, you guys stop jumping on the fucking bed.
That's right. Somebody had to do it. I will gladly take that role if need be. And then you also got to talk with Jay Crowder.
Mhm.
What did he share?
Yeah, I mean, other than the Point Book thing, Dwayne Rankin asked him, you know, what was your initial reaction to playing without or learning that Chris Paul would be out for 6 to 8 weeks? And he said, you know, my first reaction was to check on him, make sure he's okay, check if he needed surgery. And then after that, he immediately viewed it as, you know, this is a good challenge for us. This is an opportunity for the rest of us to kind of grow as a team, fill in some different roles. And I think that's the main thing that I would tell the critics of the Point Book lineup is that, like, look, this isn't something you're going to roll with for the long term. This is the time to experiment now while Chris Paul is out. Put guys in roles that are a little bit maybe unfamiliar or slightly adjacent to what they normally do. See how you can test some different lineups. And then in the playoffs, if you need to take something special out in a pinch, you have guys who have a little bit more familiarity with that type of stuff. So that's been the biggest thing.
Just say Saul. Don't say the haters. Just say Saul.
No, they're on Twitter too. It's not just you.
Like, the chat knows
just
I
you.
hate the Point Book.
Well,
like I do.
I mean, this is your opportunity, Gerald, because we already talked about it a little bit,
Okay.
obviously, at the top of the show. How do you feel about Point Book and just kind of the way that this whole thing might shape
Why
out?
don't you ask him the question about Devin Booker and his performance tonight?
Okay, fine.
Sure.
My question was,
Sure.
do you think that tonight was an MVP conversation worthy performance from Devin Booker.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I feel like 25, 12, 6 steals, 5 rebounds on 50% shooting. That's a pretty MVP caliber stat line. Obviously the steals thing has nothing to do with the position that he was playing, but he played really well tonight. He was the best player on the floor for the Suns, and he was the reason that they kind of put things away in that fourth quarter with the way that he was distributing and then the way that he upped his scoring as well. I think he started 4 for 10 and then made 5 of his last 6 shots. So, I would say that's an MVP caliber performance to start things off at least.
And that's why the girth knows basketball. All right, right there.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Saul thinks it was a good performance, but it was just OKC, so don't go alerted. Like, don't call in the press or whatever.
That's a fair point. I would say, like, I don't know, like, this team always talks about how difficult it is to win games in the NBA. And that's something that continually sticks with me is they always value every opponent. And when you're able to just dominate a fourth quarter like that without the guy who, Book CP3 1A, 1B and in those clutch minutes, when you're able to do that without him, when you get Crowder, Cam Johnson, and Mikal Bridges all 17 plus points, that's a pretty good offense. They had 32 assists without, the guy who's leading the league in assists. That's indicative of not just Book playing well also, but the team and the system that they have and how much these guys buy into that system.
Did they talk much about those crunch time minutes? Because 5:09 to go, and we talked about this earlier, but 103-98 was the score. They wound up winning by 20. I mean, they keep operating the way that they have all year.
Yeah, we didn't ask many questions about the actual crunch time just because the last couple times we've asked them about it, they've been like, you guys are running out of ways to ask this question. But they did, talk about how, Crowder had said this was an opportunity for us to grow. And he saw a lot of that tonight, especially with guys like Cam and Bridges. Crowder said he kind of feels like, the proud uncle when he sees those guys drive the way that they were driving tonight. And just the all-around balance from this team. Holiday came in and had 12 points on 5 of 5 shooting. Shamet did not shoot the ball well, but made a couple shots down the stretch to get to 10 points. They had, how many guys? 6 in double figures, and that's with DA having kind of an underwhelming night. So it was pretty impressive to see just the balance and the way that these guys are filling those roles and just operating the way they normally would even without Chris Paul in the clutch.
I don't know if this is true, but Golden Boy in the chat said, tonight Book became the first Sun in franchise history with 25 or more points, 12 or more assists, 6 or more steals, and 5 or more rebounds in a game.
That is true. And I think he was the first player with 25, 10, and 5 steals just in a game since Jason Kidd in 2001. I'm pretty sure. So good night for Booker.
Do you have an update, if any, on Mikal and his knee?
No update on
People were
Mikal.
asking about that in the chat
No
too.
update on Mikal. I don't think it was anything serious if he was on the floor, and I'm pretty sure if it was something
Like, is it Devin Booker serious, or is it like Mikal Bridges serious? You know what I mean?
I mean, Mikal Bridges, it was funny because before the game, Monty was asked about Mikal Bridges being an Iron Man, and he said, I wouldn't call him an Iron Man. He weighs like 75 pounds. But it was funny that he kind of got banged up in this game after that question. But knowing him, he's never missed a game in his NBA career. I feel like Dwayne, who was there and probably saw the benches closer than we did, would have asked about it if it was something that was bothering him still.
All right, I'm going to put this out there. If you can get Monty Williams in any context to say the word girth, I'm going to give you
again.
I'm going to give.
He's the reason this started.
I know, but if he says it again,
Oh, is he?
I'm going to give you $100, Gerald.
What?
He said the word.
You're gonna give me
he
$100?
used the
I'll
word
give
in a
you $100.
post-game
All right.
press conference, and then Gerald repeated that word
Yep.
And
in his
that's how it
report
started.
of it, and then it just.
And that's how it took
Oh my
off.
God.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a girth shirt, and I'm going to find Monty Williams, and I will give it to him. I promise you.
Oh man,
It will happen.
I just this
Somebody in the
just got
chat-
so far out of control.
Somebody in the chat
How did we
said
get to this point?
Lindsay's dressed like the bully in the Lizzie McGuire.
Hold on, I need to Google this. I'm Googling this. What did this person?
She's a 90s bully.
I am not. I take full offense to that one. Really? You think so? I feel like I don't look anything like that. She doesn't even wear a beanie. Okay.
My lawyer says he'll also pitch in money if you get Monty to say girth again. So say
God.
J.
That would be so awesome.
I'm going to turn this
Alright.
into a crowdfunding.
Might as well make some money off of it, right?
Anything else, Gerald, that you feel is important to share with us or that you want to discuss before we sign off?
No, I don't think so. I think this was a good start. Obviously, it was just the Thunder, but that is the good news is the Suns have the 6th easiest schedule. So there will be a lot of opponents that are not that great coming up. So it is kind of nice that they were able to take care of business, and now you got a well-rested Pelicans team on the second night of a back-to-back at home.
We do also, we don't have a graphic yet, but we do want to make an announcement that, you were talking about some bad teams coming up. Well, there's 2 good teams that are still left on the schedule. One on March 9th against the the Miami Heat in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
But we will be live from the Ainsworth, right across the street from the Footprint Center, doing a live pregame and postgame show. So we invite everybody to come out, hang with us in the restaurant, have some drinks and some food, and have a good time watching the Suns play. And then we'll do it again on March 30th when those Dirty Warriors are playing the Suns up there in the Bay Area, and we'll be at the Ainsworth once again. So
We will have
2 cool events.
We will have girth posters that are already
Yes.
pre-signed
Yes.
by Gerald.
Yes.
You can come down, pick
Yes.
one up. We'll have some shirts there. Whatever you need.
They will
to
actually be
have
cut
fun.
into circles, so they are like flat
flat
girths.
girthers. All the placemats
Yes.
at the Ainsworth will be
Yes.
flat girther placemats.
Yes.
It'll be fantastic. No, but it'll be a fun
Placemats
time.
are kind of funny. I'm not going to lie.
It would be kind of fun, especially because I won't be there, so I got to be there in spirit somehow.
That's amazing. All right, gentlemen. Well, thank you for joining us. Cove Crazies, thank you as always for joining us.
I love
And-
that Lindsay has said that term more times
What?
since
Cove
since-
Crazies?
Cove Crazy since we've been talking about girth stuff.
I'm just,
They could be called girthlings for all, if we want to. I mean,
I like flat girthers.
I do too. I'm just saying, Lindsay has just mentioned Cove Crazies 3 times since we started calling them flat girthers.
I just refuse.
Fair.
It's as simple as that.
It is beneath me.
I'm not going to say what I wanted to say because it's going to come off. Anytime you say girth, and then what I was about to say, it's just not going to come out.
Exactly.
But you
If
got to embrace the girth.
If
you
I
just
lean
do.
into it, it's going to
You
be
have
this
to.
nonstop for the rest of my life, and I
Flat
cannot
girth
deal
is
with
the
that.
girth.
I just simply cannot.
Yeah, it'd be really bad if something followed you around for a really long period of time.
Oh, give it time. Give it time. The chat will say something. They will create something.
Oh,
I
bless your
promise you.
heart, Gerald.
Oh,
you
man.
poor thing.
Point girth.
Thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate it. We will be back tomorrow. The Suns are taking on the Pelicans. That one tips off at 7 p.m., which means we'll have a pregame show for you at 6:30 p.m. on our YouTube channel. And then we'll be here again post-game, hopefully hanging out in the VIP lounge. Until then, you can follow the show on Twitter at PHNX_Suns. You can follow me at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Saul at Saul_Bookman. You can follow Gerald at Gerald Bourget. And of course, you can follow Espo at Espo.
Gerald, what would it take for you to change your tag from Gerald Bourget to the girth or
On
something
Twitter?
Like that? Oh my God, that would be so awesome.
Well, I would lose my blue check mark for
Oh,
one.
That's true.
It's worth it.
You could change your name and not your at.
You could change your actual name. What would it take to
A lot of money. A lot of money.
Girth Bourget. Yes.
Espo, take us home.
Embrace the girth, people. Ahoy, hoy.